What are we jamming on now, Jay? What are you jamming on now?
Oh man,
Back to Outriders. What the fuck's going on there? What the fuck?
Yeah. So there's a new update. They dropped some new content.
Okay, you're a loot crate whore. I told you, you're a loot crate whore.
No.
Just brings you right back in. Just give you some new loot. You're just right back.
No loot. Actually, I've gotten 0 new loot, but it's funny. Like I re-downloaded this game, kind of like because I saw some chatter about it on the Facebook page. Like somebody was like, "Oh, I was talking about it like it was brand new again." I'm like, "What?" I got rid of that a long time ago. I forgot that they were going to be having this new content drop, and so I figured, you know what, I was having fun with this game before. Why not jump back in, see what it's about? And I gotta say, man, before I completed the campaign, all the co-op like in-game stuff, except the absolute final thing, because you have to do that with a group and a very coordinated group. Whereas the other stuff, you can even solo it if you have a great build, you know what you're doing. Even though it's group content, you can get through it by yourself, especially if you don't have it turned all the way up. But the final thing, you have to have it turned up all the way to the max difficulty that they provide, and it has to be a group effort. And I haven't been able to get a group together to do that. But outside of that, I've done everything else. But even with that said, man, it's been months and months since I played this. It's more beautiful graphically than I remember, and I forgot how much this game really is. Like, so they added like 4 more expeditions. I don't know what else they added on top of that, but I've jumped back in.
No new loot. Not a single bit of new loot.
If there's new loot, I haven't grabbed it because my build was already great as it was. So like I'm not picking up anything new. I'm more just wanting to see these new levels that they have. To see the new bosses, new fights, and yeah, man, it's. I've had a blast. I feel like I'm doing more damage than I was before. Maybe they like nerfed some other builds and like boosted mine. I don't know, but I'm having a blast with it. So I'm a fan again. I can't even believe that I'm saying that. I know they reworked some of the gear sets. Like one of the sets I'm wearing, like I think it has some new attributes to it just naturally. Like it was a build that I was wearing before because I didn't get like the highest because I wasn't willing to grind constantly for this freaking armor set. But I think the build that I had, which I think is kind of like the second best build, they boosted it. So I'm doing so much fire damage. And yeah, I jumped into a match and a couple people joined me. And, we worked through it at probably like tier 13 out of 15, at the highest tiers that they have. And so I wasn't sure. I was like, all right, I'll do 13, see if we can get through it. We blew through it. And I was like, man, did I get carried? Like that was so easy, And the damage, I outdamaged everyone. I did like 174 million damage. The second dude did like 90, and the other one did like 50. I'm like, I carried them. Like this is awesome. But yeah, it's a blast, man.
147 million. That's the metrics. It's on a million.
It's millions of damage. Like it's like. It's like a counter, like your score. Like mine was like 147, sure. Blah 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 blah. And you can compare like how much damage somebody did, how many times they died. All these things. And
it's insane that it's working on a scale that's millions. It's ridiculous. Hundreds of millions, no less.
Oh yeah, but yeah, man. It's like I said, I'm shocked. I didn't think I was going to be that much of a fan again, but especially if I can get a group together, I think I may try to push to that final Eye of the Storm again. We'll see. Okay. But yeah, after that, of course, a lot more Elder Scrolls. I'm finally hitting high DPS again. I'm over 90,000 DPS, and so I might actually join another Vet Trials team again. I've done all the trials in the game, but the last 2 that came in, I haven't done like hard modes and all those, so I think I might want to just join a Vet Trial team just to get back into that more because I'm hitting high damage again. And so yeah, it's fun, with all of the dungeons that I've missed in the past. I've been playing through some of them. I've gotten some of these new mythic sets that they released with the newest patches, where like you have to farm them in specific ways, and like you have to do this scrying. It's like a different game within the game that you can do. And I didn't think I would really like it, but I grinded to get that, and that also gives you higher damage. So I'm sucked back in. And what can I say? It's a fantastic game.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then after that, a lot of Halo Infinite. That's still my PvP go-to. A little bit of Forza thrown in there, but mostly Halo Infinite just to pity some poor fools.
Came off Forza pretty fast.
No, it's fun, but like I actually pulled it up the other day. It's fun, but I had Zion downloaded on the other Xbox so that we can race together. Because for me, like, racing alone is fun, and that game again is amazing for its campaign mode. But I want to play with somebody else, and usually like all the racing games I've played, in the last 5 or 6, 7, 8 years have been with my daughter. She's been racing with me, so once she actually does that, I mean, now that she has that downloaded, we'll probably play together some more there. So it's only on pause. I'm definitely not done by any means with Forza.
Okay.
What about you, man? I've got some other games sprinkled in there that we'll touch on, but what is that background? At first I was like, is that Final Fantasy like 15? But what am I looking at?
No, that is Resident Evil. Yeah, you're like flying the. You're like that's like the. Those like if you sat down with Microsoft's, like I don't know, whatever team fucking like decides user base. Like the things that they want to push, like the things that they like if you sat down with whoever makes those decisions or whoever is working on that the hardest or in control of it and asked them like, what are the things that you wish a Microsoft Xbox owner was sitting down playing right now, it would be like those 4 games probably.
Oh yeah, maybe not Outriders, definitely Halo, definitely Forza, definitely ESO. It's just funny to me because we've talked about this constantly. I just am amazed that ESO continues to grow and stay relevant during this time. And yeah, I mean, it's great that now, it's owned by Bethesda, which is now part of Microsoft. So that just obviously boosts that. But it's funny too, because I don't know if you saw, there's a report this week that supposedly World of Warcraft is coming to console. Like coming to like Xbox and stuff at some point. I don't know if that's true. It's just rumors, but it's almost like that was a fun game back in the day. But why now? Like what?
I was gonna say, is that still going on?
Yeah, it's definitely still a game that's played. But to me, what I like that game. Jesse used to be in that game years ago. But to me, like a game like ESO is far better than a game like that. Unless you're just into more of the cartoony style and you just want that specific lore. Like, this is a much more beautiful game. So.
Warcraft is, it is, I haven't played Warcraft since, really, I only played 1 and 2 with any real devotion. I remember buying the battle chest, or I think I got it as a gift. I think Ted got it for me for Christmas or something. It was literally like the battle chest gift set that was like Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, the Warcraft 2 expansion pack, and it was all in this thing. I got all the they were CD-ROM, like fucking. This was like 1997 or some shit. So yeah, I played the fuck out of both those games, and I've actually, it's probably been years now, but I have downloaded the, I scored some sort of, I don't remember what it was, if it was just DOSBox or something, but like something that allowed me to install those CDs onto my last laptop and play the game again, like on modern hardware. So yeah, I love those games. I remember I bought Warcraft 3, which Warcraft 3 was like the intermediary between Warcraft 2 and Warcraft, the MMO. And like, it was, more of like a one player kind of, and like, I fucking hated it. So like, when Warcraft, I've never been MMO minded, but the fact that I didn't play like Ultima or EverQuest is like still kind of mind blowing to me, because that's like, it's right in the like lore or type of game, fantasy medieval wheelhouse that I want. So like, there just has to be like something buried deep inside me that hates the idea of MMO to not have at least tried those. But in any event, like I never got into the World of Warcraft thing, and obviously it's fucking a huge thing, and I love that story world. It is like you mentioned, like you like the lore more. Like it, dude. Like I still remember like the things that the Warcraft 2, when you clicked on them to highlight them. I still remember what a lot of them, the noises they made and shit. Like the peons, which I just love that they call the orc villagers peons, is hilarious. Just like that alone is hilarious. And they like dug like Yaktor, like shit. Like I remember the shit that they say, like from fucking 2 decades ago. So like they did a really fun job, a really good job of making that a story world that's fun to be in, even at that like rudimentary basic level. So I'm sure the modern iterations of that are just fucking hilarious and amazing. So I can see that, but. That's my understanding. That's like 76. If it hits Game Pass for free, I'll check it out. I would check that out. That would actually get me to turn on my caveman Xbox and take a look at gaming
It's funny
in the Stone
you say
Age
that.
again.
I haven't turned until last night when I played Beat
I
Saber.
saw you online last night. I saw you. I logged in. You were 14 minutes ago. You were on fucking Oculus. I was like, oh, he's playing Oculus. Look at that.
Yeah, I jumped on for a quick game of Beat Saber. But yeah, before that, I hadn't turned my Oculus on in over a month. It was like I hadn't touched it.
That's insane, dude. I played a full game of Demio last night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So anyway, that's Resident Evil behind me, and that's because I'm playing Resident Evil 4 on my Oculus. It's still dynamite. It's an assault on my senses and like my VR decision-making capability. Like VR is so much more demanding, which it all that more surprising that I enjoy it because
you're not an intense gaming like a dude. Like I don't understand.
It is so fucking intense at times, and like there's a lot. It's fucking die a lot, and last night I think I'm getting towards the end, and I got into this battle arena area that's just like don't it's got. I'm amazed. Like for a while, I've kind of felt like I've been. Ammunition has not so much of Resident Evil in my memory is like we talked about with Jab when we were doing the Final Fantasy thing. Like it's like a resource management game where you're trying to you have this scarcity problem at all times. So you can't just dump on things. You have to be very calculated. You have to have a plan, and you can't just fucking waste things. That's probably a big part of what I like about it is the strategy element of it. And you're not just fucking shooting things, but. I went through a big part of this game like without having that like a real pressure. Like I mean, I remember playing Resident Evil and like I have 4 bullets and I need to get through this area and I don't know like it's not enough bullets to get me through here. I have to figure out an alternative plan that is not attack based to get through this fucking game. And like I haven't had that happen to me yet. But I'm entering this area, like I said, and it is very much just like fucking getting mobbed, and I do not really have the ammunition to do it the way that would be ideal. It's still not like I don't have enough bullets to do this kind of thing, but it's getting there. So yeah, like that's being imposed upon me for the first time in a while, and that's kind of fun. But it's hard, and I died, and like it's fucking. Game over. Like you're and like even it's Resident Evil, so it's fucking cheesy and shit. And you die, and it's just like it cuts to this like "you're dead" written in blood on a wall. Like you're dead. It says you're dead. So even when you die, it's like it rubs it in a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, fucking like that happened last night, and I was just like, I'm not doing that again. Like I'm turning shit off. Like I'm not doing that right. Like way too frustrating and way too long and prolonged of a thing. So it's super fucking intense. So yeah, like I guess my point being, like I play this game sometimes, and I catch myself battling with the thought instead of focusing on the gameplay. Like I'm literally thinking to myself in like kind of this like disembodied way of looking at it. Like I can't fucking believe video games have come this far in my lifetime. I just cannot believe that this is a video game that I'm alive still to play. I just cannot believe how far the technology has come. And especially I guess it's probably magnified more playing a game like Resident Evil, where you do have like this rude. I remember playing this on basic bitch ass PlayStation 1. Like I remember how awful that experience was and how rigid even the movement was, and it had all that single or fixed camera systems to it where you couldn't even there may be something on the corner you can't even see. There's no real way to shoot. It sucks. It was terrible, but it was just such a good story world and so progressive for the time that you dealt with all that shit. And like this,
and it was great.
None of that. None of that shit with this at all. And it's so fucking. Man, I mentioned the sniper mechanics and stuff, and it's just so fucking good. And even this is like it's a remake, so like like the plants are not 3-dimensional plants. They have taken the flat sprite. And they've done like it's like a shitty Christmas decoration. They've just like they've duplicated the flat sprite, turned it 90 degrees, and made like
one of those
a cross. And like so it kind of looks like a bush no matter what direction you look at it from. But if you go look down on top of it, it's not a bush. It's just
right.
It's just 2 lines. So like it's not even the greatest remastering visually, but it is still impressive in every possible way. And and that's not, with the actual, I don't know, I shouldn't say that. There's some shitty things too. Like, it's got the thing where, like, if an enemy runs up against a door, for one, they can't seem to open doors, which is dumb as fuck, I think. And it's great because
right,
the shotgun, you cannot load the shotgun. Like, I can't believe I haven't Googled it. It's so lazy of me not to have Googled it. But, like, my shotgun holds 6 shells. The fucking riot shotgun I have. But I can't shoot more than one no matter what I do. I have to shoot a bullet and then take another one out of my holster on my belt and put it in the gun and cock it and then shoot. So, like, I can't, even though I can hold six shells, I can't shoot 6 semi-automatically. And, like, so frustrating. But in those door situations, I'll use that gun because I can literally just open the door, pop them, run back, let the door close, and then they just sit outside the door. You can hear them bang, like the door rattles and they bang on the door, but they don't come through it, So I can fucking reload and then open the door again and fucking shoot someone in the head.
Rinse and repeat.
Right, but anyways, when they run up against the door, you still sometimes get the sprite.
The hand sprite, coming through.
Coming through the thing, or their weapon, their fucking mace or whatever. A couple pixels of it will come through. So yeah, it's not by no means the cleanest remastering, and there's a whole bunch of immersion breaks in that regard, but it just, maybe just because I've been playing all my life, like, I'm willing to deal with that, and it doesn't bother me, but it's so fucking good and so immersive and so much fun and just like shockingly difficult at times. So yeah, really, really good. So I'm playing the shit out of that. Like I said, I think I'm getting pretty close to the end, which is part bummer, part cool. And then I've been getting pretty heated back up on Demio lately because of the looming campaign release on the 16th. So, like, I don't know, it's just inspired. I hadn't played it really for like a month. And yeah, the past like 2 weeks or so, I've been alternating all my free time with Demio, and then I've restarted watching Eastbound and Down. Did you ever watch that show?
I never watched it. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! You cannot watch.
I mean, I know about it and everything, but
you can't watch with the kids. I don't know if there's.
I would never watch that dude at all in front of me. Just him. If he's in it, then it does. No, not happening.
No kids. Yeah, it's probably. I don't know if there's ever been a show that is less appropriate for children to watch, but which is part of the hilarity because there's so much of the narrative is him interacting with kids the way that he is, and it's, oh my god, it's from, I don't even know that's probably might even be late noughts, if not early teens. Oh my god, dude, it is, it's so far, I can't believe HBO still airs it. It's so offensive in so many ways and so inappropriate and so just, like I said, if you made it in 2021, you would just get I cannot believe HBO airs it. I really can't. It's so fucking wrong. He's just such a dickhead. And I guess maybe that's like the little, like the creative nuance that allows you to get away with something like that at all, even back then, is just how oblivious and clearly he just doesn't get it, like it's so clearly conveyed that he doesn't get it and no one else should be like him. You know what I mean? Like, it's so well conveyed that it's the shit he does is somehow absolved, but it is fucking hysterical. I am in, what landed me on it is, what the fuck was I was Googling something and a clip came up, and it's the clip, it's like from season 1, episode 4 or something. He's in the fucking, he's trying to go to a barbecue. So he's come back to the town that he grew up in, and his high school girlfriend or high school crush is a teacher at the school now, and he has come back and somehow he's like a substitute he's being a substitute teacher for Jim or something, is like his like shitty side job because he got kicked out of the Major League Baseball. And so he's comes back, he's trying to be a substitute teacher, and he sees this girl and he gets invited to the barbecue, and she's dating the principal now. So he wants to go to this barbecue, and he wants to bring a girl that's gonna like make her jealous. So he brings this like the town slut that who's got fake breasts, and she's just like, just a dumb, obnoxious drunk basically. And he's at the laundromat, which I think is where she steals her clothes from. And he's dressed up in the dickhead stuff he dresses up in. And she comes out and he's like, you can't fucking wear that. Like, I need a, he said, and this is the way the dialogue, the writing for that character is so good. He like speaks in this like elevated vernacular, but still somehow so stupid and like just it's not like wrong, it's just like off. And it's so good, such a good character. But yeah, he's like sitting there, he's like telling us like, you fuck can't wear that. What the fuck would it? I'm like, and she like pulls another outfit out of one of the dryers and changes into it. And he looks at her and he's like, you're like a really nice girl, and I really like you. He's like, but you dress, but you have clothes like a dickhead. It's just such a weird but incredible line. And like I literally saw that clip, was dying laughing at just the clip. I think they talked about it in one of the podcasts I listened to. And fucking I was like, watch that clip, and I was like, I'm watching that show again for sure. And like I've just been hotboxing episodes ever since. You have to. I mean, watch it on your phone or something, do it in your free time. Like I'll be surprised if Courtney would enjoy it, but it is so fucking is male. It's like you have to turn off any sensitivity you have adopted as a father and like as a maturing man, and just look at it from like a 25-year-old I don't know shit about the world dude perspective, and you will cry laughing. It is so fucking so hilarious. In any event, I've been watching a lot of that and playing Demio, and yeah, I'm now at level 34 in the meaningless, purely cosmetic leveling system, which is 45 nice. Is the max, at least right now. I'm kind of half-ass expecting that to change with the new update. That be part of what they release as some sort of expansion on the leveling, because that is like the elder statesmen that I play with on occasion, or anytime I play with someone who's at 45 and they clearly know what they're doing and been playing the shit out of it forever. Like that's one of their major gripes is like you can't do it. Like there's no benefit to playing beyond obviously the experience of it. So I imagine that's something they want to change from a developer perspective to incentivize you to want to go further,
Which makes sense.
Sure. It's totally cosmetic though, and that also kind of sucks. Although I don't know how. There's no way to have any permanence to the character development and not have it drastically affect the balance of the game.
Yeah, it has to, right? Because if you give some kind of benefit for being higher level, then you're like, oh, if I only want to play with 45s,
exactly,
or 45 and above type of thing.
Yeah, and it is too. Like, the game last night, dude, I was playing with another 45. This girl that fucking clearly knew her shit, and me at 34, and then there was like a level 1 and a level 3 or something like that popped in the game. They were off the Discord too, which was kind of surprising. Usually that's kind of why I do it when I want to play a game. I don't even bother to try to find people in advance for the most part anymore. I'll just, because I play with the assassin and you can play alone with that just fine, not just fine, but it's possible at least. Yeah. And so I'll just start a game, post the room number in the Discord, and usually experienced players will just populate it because there's always people in there looking for games. So I was surprised that 2 newbies came off that. But yeah, so the whole experience is like me and her talking them through. I mean, like basic shit. I'm like telling them that they can tilt the board by hitting the stick, and like they don't know. Okay. They don't know super simple things, But like that's one of the things. I played fucking Walkabout yesterday, and I played with some dude on the New Babylon course that fucking was just like knew everything, and like just the shit, the I'm sure I've said it before, like, but like the knowledge sharing in that community and just that platform to me is just so cool. The way, I don't know, it's like everything, like there's so little out there because it's relatively small as a gaming community. Like there's so, I've talked about with the Shadowgate thing, how I couldn't find anything on it, It's just so cool how like everything about that is like this interpersonal exchange of ideas, and it's just a really cool way of gaming. I think it's just really, really interesting to me and different than anything I've ever experienced. So yeah, so fucking Demio was all about that last night. It was all about just like taking these 2 noobs, and we didn't even finish. We fucking died on the second board. They did that last update they did. Mm-hmm. The Rat King is that. It's a motherfucker now. They did something that made it harder. It's ridiculous.
They made it harder?
It's way fucking harder, dude. Like I've had multiple like, what the fuck is this shit moments playing the Rat King board since they did that last update. We like, dude, they were like on that level last night. I think five Gorgons. Which if you play fucking Demio, 5 Gorgons in one level is fucking ridiculous. Fucking Gorgons are pricks. They are fucking very difficult enemies, and to have 5 of them in one like that's I had never seen that before. Maybe 3 was the most I'd ever seen in one of those levels. So yeah, last night the last 2 killed us, so we didn't finish. So like even though we didn't succeed, you'd think that'd be like fucking noobs, but like it was. I mean, the noobs are like, this is the most fun we've had playing the game by far. Like, do you guys want to play tomorrow night? It's really, really cool. Fucking way of gaming. Yeah, the fucking with the so I got I think it was level 30, 31 or something like that, 31 and 32 maybe, were the last assassin, the new assassin outfits, and then there's also an assassin die. So as much as cosmetic shit, whatever, it was cool. I was surprised and cool to find that there are class-specific dyes you can get. That's really cool.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, of course the assassin die is red, and it's fucking cool. So I got the assassin die, and then I think what was last assassin outfit, but it's not as cool. The second one has like this I'm sure you've seen when we played. I think I was wearing it. I'm sure you've seen it. But like the second level assassin costume has like this. It's called the carnival one, and it has like this protruding, kind of like beak-like mask to it that is very distinct. And the third, the new one, it looks pretty much the same as the first one you have as the assassin. So I just like that it's so differentiated. So I stuck with the second one. But it reminds me, the best thing I can equate it to, the mask it's one of the disguises the Maitlands use to scare the Dietzes and Beetlejuice.
Oh, like yeah.
The thing where he pulls his snout out, it looks just like that to me is what I think.
I can see that.
Yeah. So yeah, playing the shit out of that, and just cannot wait till the new thing drops on the 16th. And then I listened to the latest Rough Talk VR pod I listened to last night, has a game in the App Lab they covered, which, do you even know what the App Lab is? Have we talked about that before? The App Lab is like, it's kind of like it. A lot of the I have never even looked at it, to be honest with you. I think maybe I looked at it once, but I haven't bought anything from there. A lot of it, to my understanding, is like a lot of beta stuff. It's like smaller developers. It's basically it's the place people can sell things on the platform without getting into the vetted store, the main store, the main Oculus store. So
okay, makes sense.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean it's cool they let you that they have that available. Like iTunes doesn't have like a secondary thing that they like they're just like either you meet our standards and we say yes or fuck off kind of thing. So it's cool that that's possible and available to developers. But yeah, my understanding is a lot of it's underdeveloped stuff, beta testing, yada yada yada, like not necessarily the most polished good games. But this one they I fire it up, and like a lot of those App Lab ones, like sometimes I'm hard to even click on them because I'm like, I know it's going to be some bullshit that I'm not necessarily interested in. But it was like RPG, and I'm like, okay, I'll listen. And sure enough, it's an RPG, and it's called Arcaxer, RCAXER, and it's a turn-based RPG that looks kind of Diablo-ish, like kind of that third-person above kind of deal, and also kind of Demio-ish, maybe a little bit too. Mm-hmm. But then it shifts to a first-person for battles. So in the battles, it also introduces some real-time elements like dodging and striking elements that are still turn-based. So it's not too kind of thing, but it does require some movement, and some use of obviously the things that make VR cool. So it sounds like they talked it up pretty fucking highly. It's $24.99, which is pricey for
something in the lab, yeah.
Yeah, the App Lab, the games are usually, but they said it's like they don't like their whole like the biggest shtick that they had in it was they're like, we don't understand why it's in the App Lab. Like it's a fully they played the whole game. They're like fully polished. Like there doesn't make any sense to us why it's here and not in the main store. It doesn't make any sense. They talked it up pretty goddamn good. So I think because I don't have a game really RPG wise, like long-term fucking play to do after Resident Evil. So I think that's gonna be my next move. So I'll let you know. It's very like they have spells and shit too. I guess you can you learn how to you have to fucking cast spells, you know. So it looks pretty fucking cool. It looks like a really well done game. So pretty excited about that.